Coach, how do you feel your team did today against Team MLL?
I thought our guys looked like a team that was trying out for Team USA, and they played a little bit tight, I thought, through some stretches. But the MLL team played very well, very loose. But I also think this team played like a champion. They played hard when it mattered and made plays towards the end of the game, and did enough to get us over the hump today. And I think that's a real good sign of the guys represent the United States of America.
How hard is it to pull together a team in such a short amount of time and build team chemistry necessary to win the championship in Denver?
I think that's the most difficult thing. That's the most challenging thing right now, is to develop chemistry when you're with these guys about every 2 or 3 months. You get about 2 or 3 days with them, and then they leave for a couple of months, and they come back, and the memory of what they just digested seems to take a little bit of time to come back the next time you're with each other. But this 3 or 4 day period that we've had with them has done a lot for this team. I think this kind of a competition, the way it ended, competing and playing in a tight game, I think does a lot for your team and your team chemistry and team character. So I'm hopeful that when we go out to Denver, the 4 or 5 days that we spend before we go out to that game is going to help all the stuff that we need to do to strengthen the chemistry and character of the team enough to be successful as we want to be.
With all the great athletes today in the game, can you walk me through the process of picking the final roster for Team USA?
We've tried to, and this is from our head coach, Coach Mead, we've just tried to pick not the best players, but the best group that we think was going to represent Team USA in the best fashion. And there's some extremely talented players on both sides here. Some teams, some members of that team on the MLL All-Star team that tried out for the team and weren't fortunate enough to make it. But I think this group has an intangible, a selfless intangible, and a group of guys that are going to be awful persistent in their approach, but also very selfless in their approach. So the challenge is not finding the most talented. The challenge is finding the right group that's going to be able to play with one another and alongside one another. And that chemistry piece is the one that we're still searching for right now.
Lacrosse is a growing sport every year. What do you think it's going to take to compete with the sports like basketball and football in the United States?
I think time. I think that is exactly what it's going to take, time. The game has grown significantly from the east out to the west. Plenty of places in the Midwest. I think the more exposure that we get in TV, the better job we do in terms of promoting a game that's played the right way. That's going to be inclusive for some of the better athletes in some of the areas like California, Texas, Florida, where the game is growing. And I think it's going to take on a whole new meaning when you start to get not just the numbers, but the best athletes from each town. Then I think the game is going to take on a significant improvement in exposure and pace, and I think it's going to be a more enjoyable game to watch. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be around to watch it and be a part of it, but I think it's just going to take a little bit more time to marinate as a sport, and hopefully it'll be there someday.
What message would you give the young lacrosse athletes out there today?
Do things the right way. Do things the right way, both in school and on the field. I think too often they look up to idols that are just extremely talented athletically, but forget about the pieces academically and socially. And I think that's what I would just say, is just make sure you're as well-rounded as you can be, and make sure you're doing all the things necessary, not just as an athlete, but a person, because that's what's going to carry you the longest.
How was it like playing with Sports 195 very own James Patton?
Are you kidding me? I made him what he is today, that young man, and you can tell him I said that.
Today I had the pleasure of meeting your sister-in-law, Lynn. She said that you can do an awesome robot. Would you be able to demonstrate for us?
Probably not without stretching out right now, but maybe at another time I'll be able to get you there.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.